Nissan has been teasing a new Frontier for quite some time. Last year, they decided to sort of give us a preview by jamming a new engine and new transmission under the hood of the old Frontier, telling us that that would harken to what we will see in the next generation model. Rather unfortunately, I've never had a chance to drive that version of the Frontier, however. But for 2022, we're getting an all-new model, and it's the one you see on your screen. According to Nissan, this will be on sale sometime in the summer of 2021, so only about a few months from the time that you're watching this video. Let's take a quick run down the spec sheet so you can see what's going on under the body. According to Nissan, this is a revised version of the Frontier's existing frame, so it's not completely new, but just about everything else aside from that is actually new. Powering the Frontier is the new 3.8-liter naturally aspirated V6 that we saw last year under the hood of the old Frontier. It produces 310 horsepower and 281 pound-feet of torque. That's best in class for horsepower, but not best in class for torque. Best in class for torque would be the Ford Ranger with the turbocharged engine. Running power to the ground is a 9-speed automatic transmission. Now, there have been a lot of rumors that maybe this is a Mercedes 9-speed automatic design. All we really know is that it is manufactured by Jatco. Nissan won't go into any details at all, even though Nissan and Daimler have had some R&D tech sharing in the past. We just don't know exactly where this transmission comes from, other than it is manufactured in a Jatco factory. The main reason cited by manufacturers of mid-sized trucks why they don't go over about 6,500 to 7,000 pounds of towing ability is that generally speaking, customers tend to migrate towards full-size pickup trucks if you want to tow those heavier weights. Although it is worth noting that like the rest of the mid-sized truck competition, this is not exactly mid-size when you take a look at the length. This will max out at 224.1 inches long, which is actually longer than something like a Ram 1500 standard cab with an 8-foot bed, or the GMC or the Ford pickup trucks of similar dimension. The standard wheelbase model will come in at 210 inches long. It obviously is going to be narrower than a full-size pickup truck and not quite as tall as a full-size pickup truck, but actual vehicle length is definitely on the long side. And you can likely blame the corporate average fuel economy standards in North America for why we don't have trucks that are shaped like the T100. Similar to a number of the competition, there's going to be 2 different cabs, a king cab and a crew cab. There are actually going to be 3 different bed lengths according to the specification, although 2 of them are really close together and just has to do probably with some of the slight differences in cab and bumper configurations with those 2 vehicles. One thing that I found surprising is that this will not get Nissan's ProPilot Assist system because apparently this engine is going to use a hydraulic power steering system, not an electric power steering rack, and that's apparently required in order to use ProPilot Assist. So if you're looking for a pickup truck with some a little bit more traditional components under the hood, definitely keep this one in mind. Also, if you don't want a pickup truck with a turbocharged engine, the Frontier is logically going to be an option. Now, they haven't said anything about pricing yet, but I fully expect this to be more expensive than the current Frontier because obviously we're getting more content. Looking around the outside, this is definitely an attractive pickup. I actually think that the current crop of mid-sized pickup trucks, other than the Jeep Gladiator, they all look a little bit funny from some angles. The Tacoma's probably second most attractive in this segment now. I think it has a good rugged front end look, but the Ford Ranger looks sort of like a lifted Ford Escort. The General Motors series of pickup trucks look a little bit misfitty. One of the interesting things to remember is that aside from this and the Gladiator, the rest of the mid-sized pickup trucks in America are actually quite old. The Ford Ranger and the GM trucks, they existed in other world markets before they finally came to the US. So even though they haven't been on sale here for that long, they've existed worldwide for a while, and that's why they tend to feel a little bit older. But this Frontier is almost completely new, again with the exception of the engine and transmission borrowed from last year and a few frame components that are similar in design but not identical to the previous generation Frontier. The interior of the Frontier is a significant departure from the current generation model, but I have to say the one thing that struck me funny is the steering wheel. This is a reworked version of the steering wheel that we find on the Nissan Titan, and it just doesn't look as modern as the steering wheel that we find in the new Nissan Pathfinder. Nissan says that they wanted this to feel trucky and in with the family with the Nissan Titan, and that's why they went with this steering wheel design, but honestly, I would rather have had the wheel on the Pathfinder. And Nissan claims the Pathfinder is supposed to be a rugged crossover as well, so in my head at least, that would have made sense. But the rest of the interior looks really, really well done. We're going to have a standard 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system, so no tiny touchscreens in here anymore, and an optional 9-inch touchscreen, which is going to be the biggest currently available in this segment. You can see that we do have dual-zone automatic climate control as well, and the part-time 4-wheel drive system control is down there next to those dual-zone climate controls. We have some USB charge ports there, USB-C and a regular USB port, and a partial LCD instrument cluster. On the safety side, Nissan's going to give us an available Safety Shield 360. It's not going to be standard, but that's going to give us class exclusive, they claim, rear automatic braking, emergency braking with pedestrian detection, blind spot warning, rear crosstalk detection, lane departure warning, and high beam assist, and you can get radar adaptive cruise control in this pickup truck, making it one of the very few that has that particular option. That's something that I'm really happy with. There's also intelligent driver alertness, but again, none of the active steering systems that we find in some of the other Nissans out there because of the steering system that's used in this truck. One thing that I don't see in any of the photos or on the spec sheet is an integrated trailer brake controller. It does not appear that one is available, although hopefully Nissan could rectify that at some point in the future. That's a feature that we generally don't seem to find in mid-sized trucks. There are some aftermarket accessories, sometimes from Mopar or from Ford's parts department, etc., but they never have quite the integrated look of a factory trailer brake controller. That's something I really would love someone to bring to the segment. With this generation of Titan, there are going to be two off-road trims. There's going to be the Pro 4X trim that we've seen before, and then a Pro X version, which is a rear-wheel drive variant. I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, why would we have a rear-wheel drive off-road variant? It's mainly going to be about the styling and people that feel that they don't need that extra weight of the four-wheel drive system. On the inside, there'll definitely be some orange accents, and of course the stitching on the seats to help identify that and separate it from the rest of the trims. At this point, Nissan has not released pricing yet. I expect that to happen sometime closer to summer of 2021 when the vehicle is going to go on sale. We also don't have complete detailed specifications for the vehicle, so we don't know how much legroom, how much headroom, how much width there is inside the cabin. It's likely that a lot of those dimensions have remained pretty close to the existing model because this is pretty close in terms of size to the existing Frontier. It does appear that it's gotten a little bit longer on the outside, but according to Nissan, most of that is just crash structure, bumper designs, etc. It didn't really affect the interior dimensions of the Frontier at all. I have to say I'm really looking forward to driving this new Frontier. I really like the exterior look. Let me know what you think about that down there. I think it's definitely more attractive than the Nissan Titan. It doesn't look like the rest of Nissan's crossover or sedan line, which I think is a really good thing. And some manufacturers out there are trying to blend the lines between their sedan lineup and their passenger car lineup. We're not seeing that with the Nissan line, but we are seeing a very aggressive and distinctive front-end look. And personally, I think this is more attractive than everything except the Jeep Gladiator at the moment. I like the Jeep Gladiator's mini Jeep looks. I think that works really well in a pickup, but this certainly looks more attractive to my eye at least than the Ranger or the GM line of pickup trucks, and I also think a little bit more attractive than the Toyota Tacoma as well. Be sure and let me know what you think about all that down there in the comment section below, and of course stay tuned because hopefully we will know a little bit more detail on the pricing of the new Frontier as it gets closer to on sale. I'll see all of you later.